looks like that's, I don't know how. Okay, we'll clear that up. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I often encourage everyone, obviously, read stuff yourself, see what you think, write down your notes. But I don't want anyone to ever feel like they are missing something or that there's more out there and that they shouldn't go find it. So there are lots of different ideas to go explore. As you can see, this says from the creators of Spark Notes, but it's more. So Lit Charts is great, Schmoop is great. Remember, if you're actually using anything from it, if you want to take something, then you need to cite it, but that's fine. I just want to encourage you to explore something yourself, but never feel like you can't go out there and sort of see what the ideas are. I feel like every time I look at a site or I ask these questions, then I grow. I learn something more and some more ideas and insights. So, if we're reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens and we're going through that, we're looking at the film and we're saying, well, the 1999 film, and we're like, okay, so, what is someone's expectation of what I'm getting out of this? Well, a great place to go is to look at perhaps the introduction, or what I like to do is look at themes. They even have summary and analysis. There are lots of different parts for you to look at, and it just gives us a good idea, like what are people thinking? Like, what are the professionals thinking? Obviously, you're not a professional at literature, and you shouldn't feel that you have to be, but explore what you think and feel and see. Take some notes on that so they don't get lost, and then see if you agree. Some amazing papers are things like, oh, well, I was feeling X, and then I read this, and I don't know if I agree. I think it's more important that we're looking at. That is great. Disagree, explore, ask questions. All of these things are wonderful. And obviously, there's more to a lot of them. Like even here, where we're looking at themes, we are not writing the kind of papers in class where we would cover all of these. Like, heavens no. So we could look at them and say, that's interesting. We're looking at Christmas and tradition. What kind of ideas are out there? Do any of them help me dive into what I'm doing and what I'm working on? And if I want to utilize any of these, then obviously I'm going to cite it. So I want to see, usually they have a great section all about citations, so we're going to look for it. So it looks like we have the intro and all of that. We're going to go down here. So as you can see, not all of it is going to be available because we're borrowing, as it were. But it's a great way to get a couple of little insights into sort of what could be out there. I tend to look at the bottom of a page, and there we are. I was going to say it's usually at the bottom of a page, but I tend to look at the bottom, and that will give me things like what's the copyright date for something, so 2020, 2022. I look for things like contact us or about us because it will tell me who is writing things and how they want to be referred to. But this handy dandy button is often at the bottom, and the other place that it is often at the very top underneath sort of the title and things like that. So it'll often say sort of what's happening, and then this will be a space where it says who is writing it, or it will have it to the right. So top to the right, or all the way to the bottom, and then we get some help. So as you can see, it started in MLA, and it's only giving us MLA or Chicago. But from those, we can gather the information we need. So we know that we would put a G for Parfit. We would not put Georgiana down. Then we would put the date right here. We would change it around a little bit. But the parts are there, and it starts us on that trajectory, which is really, really, really nice. So look for those kinds of things to make sure if you're using this that you are sharing where you got it, but don't feel bad about heading in there and just looking at some basics and seeing if they're lining up with what you're thinking. Are they expanding what you're thinking? Or are you finding yourself going, no, I think it's totally different than this? That gives you a basis upon which to keep building. I use it that way more often than not, and so I encourage you to try those ideas. And it can be helpful, who's there? What kind of famous quotes are coming out of this? What kind of people are there, and what can I learn about them? Like, so here it has quotes from Ebenezer Scrooge. It tells us a little bit about who he is. So things like humbug, that's actually on my Christmas jumper, my sweater. So those things are out there, aren't they? And Scrooge as a term derives from Dickens. So explore those ideas, see if they help. Never be afraid to go find things, but always make sure you're citing them.